Hello everyone, I am Haimanti. I am a non-dual life coach and founder of SWA. My organization SWA is working with non-dual philosophy. It is working with both mental wellness and self-awareness. Why we need mental wellness? Because if the chaos mind does not settle down, it is not possible to discover self-power. This masterclass is about disclosing the paradigm of happiness. Today's agenda of this class is what is non-duality, what is the purpose of non-dual philosophy, what is not happiness, and what is true or fundamental happiness. How does positive psychology define happiness, and tools to disclose paradigm of happiness. So, what is non-duality? I'm starting with an introduction to non-duality. This is an ancient philosophy based on Vedas and Upanishads. This school of study has a tradition to transfer knowledge from teachers to students. In our present life, it is like a relation between a coach or consultant and the clients. It is a tradition of spreading realization. The theory of non-duality shows us our true nature of self and what we really are. The word non-dual means not two. Why not two? Because there is only one reality. But the way we see this world, it appears to us with many differences, plurality. The world consists of nature, animals, small insects, also non-living things. And most importantly, we the human beings. Most complex creature, I think. Different in colors, behaviors, and with a tremendous complex mind. With all this diversity, a theory is asking that everything belongs to the state of non-duality. There is only one reality. What is that reality? It is existence consciousness bliss. That is the self, our own self. We do get confused with our body mind and the true self. The idea is this ultimate reality, discovering your true self, can only be realized through knowledge because it is always with us only. Our ignorance, our ignorant mind that we could not realize it. I am not going to insight of non-duality today. It is a vast area to discuss. We'll continue to the next part of today's talk. So, what is the purpose of non-duality and how this purpose is related with our happiness? So, the non-dual philosophy that I follow is an extract of Vedas. It is called Advaita Vedanta. The purpose of this philosophy has been stated very profoundly. It is complete cessation of suffering and attainment of ultimate bliss. In Sanskrit, Atyantika Dukkha Nivritti Paramananda Praptischa. So, they promise us that there is a complete and irreversible redemption from all sorrow and one can obtain permanent never-ending happiness. It is the only purpose of this ancient philosophy. Also, it is a promise that you can. This teaching lets you know that you are consciousness bliss, happiness. And this truth is not to be accomplished. This supreme reality is the source of all happiness and it resides within us. Non-dual knowledge only shows the way to reach real happiness. This is a path of philosophical inquiry. This ultimate knowledge says that our true self is Satchidananda or Satchidananda Brahma. That means existence, consciousness, bliss. So we do exist and we are aware that we are existing, right? There is no doubt about that, and we are also aware that many things exist. In human beings, existence is manifest. Intelligence is also manifest. But bliss or happiness is not always manifest. We are not always happy. We do not feel free in this world. We are bound by several limitations. Why? Why are there so many problems? If happiness is already inside us, always, all the time, then why we could not get it? Because in conscious and subconscious minds, we are always in search of happiness. That does not mean that we are not happy. We are happy, but we are not satisfied with the quality of our happiness. We seek more and more happiness. What is the reason behind that? Let's take an insight into this mystery. This class is based on non-dualism. You already got that. I will follow the same technique to discover the paradigm of happiness that the teachers of non-dual philosophy they used for explaining the self, the true self. How they explained it is called neti neti, or not that, not that. Through the path of enquiry, they declined everything that is not self and stated that we are not the physical body that we could see, not even the mind and intellect. And ultimately, they declared the self is nothing but a conscious, happy being. So, the nature of our self is happiness. Now, what is not happiness? Remember, I said that we will disclose the reality of happiness through the technique of declining what is not happiness. It is always easy to say that what is not happiness. Our agony, misery, pain, depression, anxiety, stress, our fear, these all are your mental states. And obviously, not your happiness. The mind is always busy with observing our unhappy status. We are not happy at all. Just imagine starting from the morning, we open our eyes and all the anxiety jumps down to mind. Our job pressure, school, family work, everyone is tired of thinking from their own area. So many thoughts come and go. We think that our happiness depends on a particular condition. Our thoughts go like, if I get this job, I will be really happy. But when I didn't have a job, I was not happy. And when I have a job also, I can raise 1,000 complaints and I am not happy. Some people have trouble with relationships. They think that a relationship with the desired person will give him or give her happiness. But it does not in reality. For some, maybe going on a vacation, a source of happiness. And what happened after coming back from vacation? You will be again in the trap of unhappiness. Unhappy with your regular life, peer pressure, finance trouble. You cannot stop your mind from thinking and chasing happiness under these all conditions. Even if you could reach those conditions, you will not be happy. For all these conditions, does your happiness last forever? Do you stop feeling your sorrow or sadness? No. It is not that you don't need those. You need everything. And it is your basic need. You have to achieve your goal. But with a clear idea that those conditions are not your happiness. Non-duality or non-dual lifestyle helps you to discover your inner happiness, with what you can achieve any desires of your life. You can enjoy your life fully but without any dependency on the joy from the outside world. So, happiness is not conditioned. But everywhere, notice that we put a condition if. In reality, it is not to be achieved by anything or by time. It is your own true nature. It is within you. Remember the definition of yourself? It is existence, consciousness, bliss. Bliss means happiness. So happiness is your obvious nature. You don't need to get that from the outside world. Then how could you attain true happiness? Can you remember the promise of non-duality? That attainment of bliss or happiness? To get that, to get the paradigm of happiness and adapt a non-dual lifestyle, the first step is making your monkey mind into the still mind. This should be your first tool. The mind is wandering each and every time, and we are running from one after another thought. Experts say that the mind thinks between 60,000 to 80,000 thoughts a day. So, before realizing your true nature of happiness, you need to settle down in your mind. In Upanishad, it says that this knowledge is not attained by the weak person. It is for those who are strong enough physically, intellectually, and mentally. Now notice, if you are physically, mentally, and intellectually strong, you are already one step forward to your happiness. Because the problems, sadness, misery, and mental troubles also grab you into physical trouble, like your sleepless nights, headache, anxiety, stress, etc. These all troubles can be eliminated by settling down in your mind. This is also called a trained mind. So, the first step to non-duality is mind stillness. It has a process to learn and practice. Going forward, I will take a side path from non-duality to positive psychology. I made a comparative study on both positive psychology and Upanishads. According to the American Psychological Association, psychology or psychiatry is a scientific study of the mind and behavior. But for many decades, the focus was on the problems in life. The vast majority of research on psychology or psychiatry were dedicated to those who are struggling, those with severe mental illness or mental disorders, also those who are mentally sick. But positive psychology mainly focused on happiness. And they are more interested in people who are happy, but how to take them into a happier life. Martin Seligman is a pioneer of positive psychology. His theory is based on why happy people are happy. What is the reason for happiness? And also, he uses the scientific method to explore it. Like, you know that there is medicine for sick people to make them better. But also, there are vitamins, sports medicines that make healthy people stronger, right? We are not really sick, but we do take supplements to increase our immunity. Positive psychology is working exactly on that way. Vedanta or non-dual philosophy itself shares a similar goal towards life. I said that the purpose of non-dualism is complete cessation of suffering and attainment of ultimate bliss, happiness. According to Seligman, in positive psychology, there are three dimensions of happiness: pleasure, engagement, and meaning. These three dimensions of happiness increase happiness in the human mind, human life. Now, how this modern psychology, positive psychology, is connected with non-dualism. We'll take your insight into non-dual teaching. In ancient society, people had the same question about life that we have right now. So everyone was well in their own work field, but they were not happy. The problem of society was everyone was successful in their respective field, but not feeling satisfied. Somehow there was a lack of satisfaction, lack of happiness. In search of true happiness, they approached to the teacher called Prajapati. They asked how they should live a life to feel more happiness. What is the purpose of life? So, the teacher uttered 3 rules of happiness and 3 rules of a purposeful living. He said 3 das that represent 3 words for higher happiness: Damyata, Datta, and Dayadham. What does that mean? Damyata is self-control. Datta is giving or sharing. Dayadham is compassion for others. These 3 teachings can be compared with Seligman's 3 dimensions of happiness. What is that? So, self-control is related to engagement. Giving or sharing is related to pleasure. And compassion for others is related to meaning in life. Human life should lead under self-control. Why? Because living life within limits and being engaged fully with a particular work or goal could lead to happy living. Here, you will get a relation between achievement and self-control. It is proved that without a controlled, focused mind, you cannot achieve anything. Focus is related to total engagement with work. And on the other hand, if your life is engaged, focused on a particular goal, you will be automatically self-controlled. So, self-control and achievement is both are vice versa. There is an interesting experiment also on this particular topic. Professor Tal Ben-Shahar, he is in the positive psychology department at Harvard University. He says happiness is success, not that success is happiness. Did you get it? So, happiness will bring your success. Success cannot bring the happiness. But we take it the wrong way. We think success is our happiness. So his experiment goes like this. He was under training for a tennis tournament, and he put himself in a diet, a good healthy diet, with a promise that after the tournament is over, he would indulge himself and buy his favorite junk food. So after the tournament is over, he went to the McDonald's with excitement, joy. He ordered a large portion of his favorite food. But when he actually seated to eat that, he found he has no desire for that food. He is not feeling to eat. Obviously, he felt strange to his own behavior. But because he is a psychologist, he discovered the human psychology behind this. He said that because he started control over his food over the month and he benefited from that, his body felt lightweight, he started feeling more energetic. Then mind does not want to live that controlled life. When we start to fix our minds to a particular goal or achievement with self-control, it may vary from situation to situation, but if you control your greed or desire for any good deed, you will find happiness, and that happiness is from within. It is true happiness that leads to a perfect achievement in life. So, self-control in non-dualism has a great relation to achievement in life from positive psychology. The second teaching of non-duality is human life should be generous. There is great joy in sharing. Professor Seligman says, if you single-mindedly chase pleasure, very soon you will find nothing pleasing you anymore. Pleasure has a limitation. Live life with sharing others. It may be very minimal, but that pleasure will remain longer than you had the pleasure for your own. You can enjoy all your earning for only your own pleasure, but that pleasure will not last for long. On the other hand, if you give something to others, you share with others, it can be anything, anyway. It can be food, clothes, you can teach poor kids, even a friend or any unknown person in any kind of need. If you help them, if you share, if you give something, that pleasure remains long in life. It is said in Upanishad, Tena taktena vanjita. Rejoice through renunciation. Renunciation is a selfless act or selfless work. Sharing from whatever you have. So, life with giving and sharing brings more happiness. And lastly, compassion for others. This is your meaning in life. Having an answer as to why are we on this earth is a key ingredient of a meaningful life. Non-dual philosophy also asks the same. The point is, I help others because not only that I like it, but I enjoy it. So enjoyment brings meaning to life. and happiness. A lot of people who get engaged with community services, non-profit organizations, in schools also, students have a part with this kind of actions, not because they like, but they also enjoy it. When you help others, you will feel happier. When you feel happier, automatically you incline to help others. It's a chain of happy feelings. In psychology, it is proved that unhappy people are less likely to help or compassionate to others. So any kind act, compassion increases happiness. American philosopher Emerson, he said very interesting. It is one of the most beautiful compensations of this life that no man can sincerely try to help another without helping himself. Means, if you really try to help others, you are helping yourself. In which sense? That you are happier when you are helping others. If you help others, you feel better immediately. So, coming to the end, I will sum up the vision of the paradigm of happiness. It is a life followed by self-control with a higher purpose of achievement and getting full engagement in work, also having a tendency to help people with compassion. It will add meaning to your life and increase your happiness. Most importantly, to remember that our happiness is our own very nature. That is already what we have within us. Thank you for listening. If you like the subject and teaching, please subscribe to the channel and give a like. Also, share with your friends and family. Thank you.